Tormil shook the dirt from his hand. Moist, dark and rich soil falls through his fingers, down back to the earthen plane of which he has spent the better part of a lifetime aligning into neat rows. Every couple of feet stood a proud sapling, glistening with emerald leaves in the moonlight. It has taken centuries to turn this countryside into a lively orchard of silver-leaved birch. Where once the languid dead roamed and trampled this hillock, now only the stiff forms of trees move in the gentle wind. The undead are long gone, and now lie buried below, having become fertilizer for the new life above. Tormil thinks about how often he still finds a bone fragment or skull plate when he digs in the earth. Always some poor soul from a bygone era. He always says a few words for the lost, hoping they had found some peace with the angels above. Tormil gathers himself, for tonight his work is done. Soon the crimson morning sun will be breaching across the horizon. Tomorrow night, once the sun sets, he will likewise set about his charge, again for another restless night. There is always another sapling to plant, another beacon of greenery to place on the moorlands. So he drifts across the rising orchard. Moments later, he's back in his tomb. It is the time of rest for this old spirit. Across the moorlands, through the valley of Academia, the once industrious village of Iscariot lies. No vile king rules here. No monstrous regent takes claim of its people's will. No, only the gentle guidance of the angels takes providence here. Once known as the Valley of Ashes, for it was where the debris of the Terapeaks Mountains did fall. These ashes once smothered the land in a toxic deluge of cinders stemming from those countless tyrannic dragons who once made their home in the Terapeaks. Now the mountains have fallen into obsolescence, and from their molten halls now only comes the foundry winds. Once, these winds fueled the many forges of Iscariot, which channeled their ethereal heat into workings of iron and steel. But no longer are the winds tamed. Now, only a few forges still draw from the Terapeaks' infernal centers, and of those forges, none make the fearsome weapons of yore. No, now they forge implements of agriculture and the tools of the municipality. It is a time of rest for the forges and their smiths. Carried on by the foundry winds, the birds of Kessig travel once again to their coastal homes for the coming winter. There on the shores of Nephalia, those shores whose carrion tides once bore monster and horror alike, now lap so gently upon the sands. Some of the elder Griffs still remember the times before. Somewhere in their Avacyn-blessed souls, in their hollow bones, they recall the time their fledglings couldn't imagine. The horrors of lifetimes are not so easily forgotten by the beast of the land or air, or those who walk betwixt. The sea no longer violently churns, but the surf still remembers. On those darkest nights, on those profane days of a time not yet forgotten, the sea still glows with ominous light, a reminder of the slumbering things below. Across the ocean from the shore of Nephalia, do the tides crash and become like mist upon the rocky shores of the island of Carnoum. Carnoum, which bears its name for the bone-white rocks which comprise its form, and for the dead so buried there. Carnoum, for it is like a skull, white and bare. It was here that many tombs, crypts, and all manner of such things were built and then consumed by time and the rising waters. The people have forgotten it and have left it to its decay, but the earth remembers it in its earthen bones, even as the tide seeks to consume it. On one of the tombs, a candle still remains lit, placed centuries ago and burning without end, a silent vigil for those winters past. In time, it too shall fall, toppled by the zeitgeist of the changing times. The new dawn approaches on Innistrad. The time of the martyr has ended. The night shall bear no crown upon the land, forever now and forevermore. Every so often over on my Discord, we have creative writing contests. Prompts are provided and the members of the server are allowed to write up anything that falls within the confines of the prompts restrictions. For October, members were given the option to write a short story taking place on either Innistrad from Magic the Gathering or the Plain of Ravenloft from Dungeons & Dragons. The winner of October's contest, Ross, submitted not one short story but multiple blurbs, each one describing a different custom land card that they designed, each with a rather unique mechanic. With a theme of the 4 seasons, each of these lands has 3 different effects. They can tap for a colorless mana, or by paying a generic into tapping it, they can tap for one of 2 colors, but the third effect is the most unique. Each of these lands shares an ability that taps them, removes a creature card from a graveyard, and then untaps the land. This effect can only be used once per turn. This is a really powerful effect in a lot of different formats, especially in Elder Dragon Highlander, where these lands can, up to 4 times per cycle, just remove a lot of creature cards from anyone's graveyard. It's a very powerful effect, and it occupies an interesting design space. Honestly, I'm surprised Wizards hasn't done something else like this. At least, not a repeatable one. Of course, there is Bojuka Bog, but these seasonal cards, this seasonal cycle, feels really new and innovative, and it occupies a design space I'm sincerely surprised Wizards hasn't done already. The tap to remove and then untap again effect seems like the kind of thing that, when done right, could be really impressive. A special thanks to Ross for writing this story and designing these cards, and thank you for watching this video to the end. If you'd like to support me, you can click the like button, click subscribe, and turn on notifications, and if you'd like to support me directly, you can head on over to my Patreon page. Patrons get early access to my lore content, and I really appreciate all the help they give me. If you want to check out the writing prompts for the next time it comes up, feel free to join the Discord. A link is in the description below. Thanks again so very, very much, and have a great day.